As we all know, electricity is essential for humans, especially in the globalization era. Electricity demands growth is said to be particularly strong in developing economies. So, we came up with an idea. What if we generate the electricity from the plant?
Let's hear this out. As we know, glycolysis results ATP as a product. Guess what? Yes, adenosine triphosphate is a molecule that carries energy within cells. So, if we somehow manage to extract the ATP, we could create an ATP-based batteries. With this idea, many plants will be planted, hence global warming will be reduced. It leads to many side benefits. This is purely our giant brain. It might be ridiculous, but no one knows.
How do plants grow? Humans and plants are similar but not the same. When plants have the right balance of water, air, sunlight, and nutrients, their cells grow and divide, and the whole plant gets bigger and bigger, and that's how plants grow. So, why are plants is very important. Plants are really important for the planet and for all living things. They provide us some food to eat and oxygen to breathe. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen from their leaves, which humans and other animals need to breathe.
The word glycolysis is made up of two words. The word glyco means glucose, and the word lysis means to break down. Glycolysis is a series of reactions that extract energy from glucose by splitting it into two 3-carbon molecules called pyruvates. Glycolysis is an ancient metabolic pathway, meaning that it evolved long ago, and it is found in the great majority of organisms alive today.
Let's discover more, shall we? Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol of a cell, and it can be broken down into two main phases, the energy requiring phase and the energy releasing phase. In the first half of glycolysis, two adenosine triphosphate or ATP molecules are used in phosphorylation of glucose, which is then split into two 3-carbon molecules.
In the beginning, the glucose molecule in the cytoplasm is trapped in the cell by adding phosphate molecules. The product becomes glucose 6-phosphate. Then, glucose 6-phosphate gets transformed into its isomer called fructose 6-phosphate. An ATP molecule reacts with fructose 6-phosphate and adds a phosphate molecule and makes it fructose 1,6-biophosphate. The reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called the phosphofructokinase, and this reaction decides the rate of glycolysis reaction.
After that, the fructose biphosphate is split into two molecules, DHAP as well as glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. The DHAP and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules are converted to the latter, and eventually all the molecules undergo further steps of glycolysis. Phew, that was a lot.
Now, we still need to cover one more topic. It is time for the energy releasing phase. In the second half of glycolysis, the 3-carbon sugars formed in the first half of process go through a series of additional transformation, ultimately turning into pyruvate. In the process, 4 ATP molecules are produced along with the 2 molecules of NADH.
Now, let's check out more detail at the reaction that leads to these products. Since a glucose splits into two 3-carbon molecules, the reactions will happen twice for each glucose molecule and eventually proceed through the pathway.
In the next step, you will see two half reactions occur simultaneously. First, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, which is one of the 3-carbon sugars formed in the initial phase, is oxidized. and NAD+ is reduced to NADH and H+. The overall reaction is exergonic, releasing energy that is then used to phosphorylate the molecule, forming 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate donates one of its phosphate groups to ADP, making a molecule of ATP and turning into 3-phosphoglycerate in the process. 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into its isomer, 2-phosphoglycerate, which then 2-phosphoglycerate loses a molecule of water, becoming phosphoenol pyruvate PEP.
PEP is an unstable molecule, poised to lose its phosphate group in the final step of glycolysis. PEP readily donates its phosphate group to ADP, making a second molecule of ATP. As it loses its phosphate, PEP is converted to pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis.
Oh my, it was so incredible. But we missed the most important part. As a Muslim, let us cultivate the relationship of science with the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون. In the Quran, it is mentioned, "Do you not see the fire which you kindled? Are you the one who made the tree, or we are the ones who made it?" In Surah Al-Waqi'ah, verse 71 and 72.
In this verse, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention the word tree, history, not called wood, khushub? Usually people light fires from woods, not trees. Then, what is the connection between lighting a fire and a tree?
The Quran states a physics formula currently known in modern science, which is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water plus sunlight plus chlorophyll equal to glucose plus 6 molecules of oxygen. The Quran explains the formation of oxygen comes from sunlight, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll from trees to perform photosynthesis. One of the elements in the formation of oxygen is the presence of a living tree.
Plant respiration is a large environmentally sensitive component of the ecosystem carbon balance, and net ecosystem carbon fluids will change as the balance between photosynthesis and respiration changes. Can anything make it possibly go wrong? What about climate change? Does it affect the plants?
Plants respire approximately 50% of the carbon available for photosynthesis, with the remainder available for growth, propagation, nutrient, and litter production. Global changes in CO2, temperature, precipitation, ozone, atmospheric pollutants, and nutrient inputs will affect both respiration and photosynthesis. Because respiration and photosynthesis respond differently to the environment, climate change may alter the balance between them, thus failing the plant's respiration system and interfering with the way nature works. But how to prevent chemical pollution?
We can begin with a simple task at home. To begin, you should only purchase the chemical product that you need. Then, until they deteriorate or expire, use household chemicals and materials, or give away things like paint and chemicals to people who can use them. As a result, riding a bike or using public transit reduces the number of chemicals released into the atmosphere. Or, instead of chemical compost, use your fruit and vegetable waste as mulch or compost. On your lawn, try experimenting with non-chemical herbicides and pesticides.
Yes, by doing so, you have created a safe atmosphere in which plants can grow high and harmful insects and waste are balanced with beneficial insects and desirable plants.
But what about work? What should we do when there are so many people around?
Don't worry, if your company uses chemicals, keep your work area clean and clearly labeled. Make every effort to get your company involved in the industrial waste exchange program. You can make sure that carpooling incentives are available to employees and manage the company's vehicle usage. Make certain that employees are given instruction on how to work with specific chemicals.
But how to make sure that the employees are well informed?
You may conduct frequent tests and provide classes and information sessions to keep your employees up to date on proper chemical movement, storage, and disposal techniques. When possible, use non-toxic and non-chemical solutions and products.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you for watching. Bye.